All right, you're looking at a front pinion assembly for a Yanmar 1601D tractor. This is a bearing housing, and you've got a inner bearing right here, and there's another bearing inside of this housing, which we can't really see right now. And there's also one main oil seal. You can see that right here, the darker right there. There are 3 O-rings that you got to worry about. There's one right here on the smaller O-ring on the shaft. There's a larger O-ring right here, and there's another similar diameter but smaller O-ring here on the inside. So when you're resealing this, you want to make sure and get fresh O-rings on all 3 of those, as well as the shaft. So the shaft is held on to the assembly with a castle nut right here. You'll need a 41mm socket to be able to pull that thing off. I used an air ratchet. It's the only way I could get it loose. It's got a good amount of torque to it. The assembly is held on with 4 bolts, and once you get the 4 bolts off, it's going to feel like it's stuck and pressed in. It's not really pressed in, but it's got a really snug fit that's bearing into the differential housing up there. And Yanmar was pretty smart. They gave you a really easy way to get this thing off. So this is a 10mm thread by 1.5 pitch bolt. You can screw that down in there and it'll help push this thing off the differential for you. And once you get a little crack, you can obviously work yourself in a screwdriver or a little pry bar and gently pry this thing back off. Don't use a lot of pressure on this. Don't break anything. All right, so once you get this thing off, obviously you want to put this up in your press. You want to press this thing down through here so you can get better access to the seal. You might be able to pull the seal out. If you can, good for you. I'm going to go ahead and take this whole thing apart and inspect everything. And once you press this back through again, you don't really need to pull the bearing housing off the pinion shaft. You can leave that there. Just press this back in flush. And put your new seal in. Remember to put your shims. If you've got the parts book here, it shows you all the components right here. Also the Yanmar service manual that Hoy used to sell. If you've got a copy of that, there might be something online. It goes just a side-by-side breakdown of different components. There also is a torque specification for setting that castle nut right here. And here it shows you what the different drag torque should be. I'm not entirely sure how to set drag torque. I've never set that unless it's referring to standard torque. I've got a torque wrench to do that. However, I don't know exactly how I'm going to hold the shaft to be able to get correct torque on it. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of torque that needs to be put on it, so I wouldn't run your air hammer down on this. You can wind up ruining something. That's it. That's a kind of a walkthrough of what this pinion housing is all about. And hopefully this is going to be proved helpful, at least to kind of give you a look ahead of what you got to get into.